God says, listen closely, my beloved soul, because what you are experiencing right now is not an interruption in your day, it is an invitation from heaven. You did not arrive here by chance, and you did not pause on this message without reason. Something gentle yet powerful is already moving around you, quietly aligning moments, people, and outcomes in ways you cannot yet see, but your spirit can feel. That stillness you sense inside your chest, that subtle awareness pulling your attention inward, is heaven whispering before it acts. There are moments when God speaks loudly, and there are moments when He chooses silence so deep that only the heart can hear. This is one of those moments. Nothing dramatic is required from you right now. No rush. No pressure. Just awareness. Heaven is not asking you to do something frantic, heaven is asking you to stay present. Within the next hour, something small yet meaningful will shift, not because time itself is magical, but because alignment has reached its point of completion. You may have been feeling restless without knowing why. You may have felt unusually reflective today, or sensed that something is about to happen, without being able to explain it logically. That is not imagination. That is preparation. When God prepares to move, He first settles the heart, because sudden blessings can only be recognized by a calm spirit. Noise blinds people to grace, but stillness makes it visible. God says, I have seen the weight you carried quietly. I saw the moments when you stayed strong outwardly while your inner world needed reassurance. I noticed how you kept going even when answers felt delayed. Understand this clearly, delay is not denial, and silence is not absence. Many things are arranged in layers, and you are now at the moment when one layer is about to lift. In the unseen realm, there is no chaos around your life right now. There is order. There is timing. There is precision. Angels are not rushing, they are positioning. Nothing is being forced, everything is being placed. This is why you are being asked to slow down internally. When the heart becomes still, it can receive what the mind would otherwise miss. God says, within this next hour, you may notice a conversation, a message, a thought, or a subtle change in atmosphere. It may not look extraordinary to others, but it will feel significant to you. Do not dismiss it. Divine moments often arrive gently. They do not announce themselves loudly, they reveal themselves quietly. What matters is not how dramatic the moment looks, but how clearly it speaks to your heart. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not disconnected. Everything you need to receive is already moving toward you at the correct pace. There is no need to chase it. There is no need to fear missing it. When something is meant for you, it does not pass you by, it finds you. That is why you are here now, reading these words, feeling that soft pull of attention inward. God says, trust this still moment. Trust the calm before the shift. Trust that even if you do not fully understand what is unfolding, understanding is not required for alignment. Faith is not about seeing ahead, it is about being present when heaven draws near. And right now, heaven is near. Let your heart stay open. Let your thoughts slow down. Let expectation rest gently, not urgently. The next hour is not about anticipation, it is about reception. Something is already set in motion, and you do not need to force it into being. Simply remain aware, grounded, and receptive. This is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of the unfolding. God says, "Stay with me for a little longer, because what is unfolding now is not sudden, it is sacred." Some movements in life are loud and visible, but the most meaningful shifts often happen quietly, like dawn arriving before the sun is fully seen. This is one of those hours where heaven works gently, not to surprise you, but to settle something that has been waiting for the right alignment. You may not realize it yet, but your life has recently crossed a spiritual threshold. A season where you were holding on, questioning, waiting, and enduring has begun to loosen its grip. This does not mean everything changes instantly on the outside. It means something has already changed on the inside, and outer life always follows inner alignment. God never rearranges circumstances before preparing the heart, because blessings received without readiness often feel confusing instead of peaceful. God says, "Notice how your breath feels right now. Notice how your body is calmer than it was before you started listening." That calm is not accidental. It is the signal that your spirit is aligned with what is approaching. When something meant for you draws near, anxiety fades and clarity begins to rise, even if you cannot yet explain why. In this hour, heaven is not testing you, and heaven is not measuring your worth. Heaven is responding to what has already been proven through your patience. There were moments when you could have hardened your heart, but you didn't. There were moments when bitterness could have taken root, but you chose understanding instead. Those choices mattered more than you know. They quietly shaped this moment. God says, there are outcomes that only become available when the soul is calm enough to receive them. That is why nothing was rushed. That is why answers did not arrive prematurely. What is being prepared now is meant to feel natural when it arrives, not overwhelming, not frightening, not disruptive. It is meant to fit into your life like a missing piece finally returning to its place. Within this hour, your awareness may sharpen. You may feel more present than usual. Thoughts that once felt heavy may soften. Old worries may lose their intensity. This is not coincidence. It is alignment. When heaven draws near, mental noise reduces, because clarity does not shout, it settles. God says, do not look outward too aggressively during this time. This hour is not about searching for signs everywhere. It is about being receptive. Sometimes the shift happens through a simple realization. Sometimes through a message. Sometimes through a sudden sense of peace where tension once lived. Not all miracles look dramatic. Some look like relief. Some look like understanding. Some look like finally exhaling after holding your breath for too long. You may have wondered if you were ever truly heard. You may have questioned whether your quiet prayers mattered. Hear this clearly now, nothing offered in sincerity is ever ignored. Some prayers are answered immediately. Others are answered correctly. Timing is not about delay, it is about protection. God did not want you to receive something before you could carry it with grace. God says, there is no rush now. What is meant for you is already approaching at the speed it needs to arrive safely. You do not need to convince anyone. You do not need to prove yourself. You do not need to force movement. Stillness is doing the work for you. This hour carries a gentle turning point. Not a dramatic ending, but a subtle beginning. Like a door unlocking quietly rather than being pushed open. When it happens, you may only realize later how important this moment truly was. That is how divine timing often works. It feels simple in the moment and profound in reflection. God says, stay grounded. Stay open. Stay gentle with yourself. Nothing is being taken away from you in this hour. Only clarity is being added. Only alignment is being restored. Only what truly belongs with you is being allowed to remain. This is not the conclusion. This is the continuation of something already in motion. God says, remain present, because what is unfolding now is not loud, it is layered. Some moments carry meaning that only reveals itself when the heart is still enough to notice it. This hour is not meant to shake you, it is meant to steady you. You have already walked through enough intensity in life, now heaven is guiding you through alignment, not struggle. You may not feel excitement rushing through your body, and that is intentional. What is coming does not need adrenaline. It needs readiness. God prepares His children gently when the gift is meant to last. Sudden chaos creates sudden loss, but calm preparation creates lasting presence. This is why your spirit feels settled rather than restless. God says, there are conversations happening in the unseen that concern your life directly. Not debates, not conflicts, but confirmations. Paths that were once uncertain are being clarified. Outcomes that once felt distant are becoming defined. Nothing is being forced into place. Everything is aligning because it finally can. You are not behind. You were never late. The timeline you compared yourself to was never yours to follow. Heaven does not operate by pressure, it operates by precision. Every pause you experienced protected you from something you could not see at the time. Every delay gave space for wisdom to form inside you. That wisdom is now becoming useful. God says, notice how your reactions to life have changed recently. Things that once upset you deeply now pass through you more softly. Situations that once demanded answers now invite patience instead. This is growth you did not notice happening. It is evidence that your spirit has matured enough to hold what is next without losing peace. This hour carries a quiet shift in perception. You may begin to see certain people differently. Not with judgment, not with resentment, but with clarity. Some connections will feel complete, others will feel distant, and neither feeling is wrong. It simply means your life is reorganizing itself around truth instead of attachment. God says, do not be afraid of outgrowing spaces that once felt safe. Safety is not always permanence, sometimes safety is movement at the right time. You are not being pushed away from anything valuable. You are being guided toward what can grow with you. There is something approaching that will not demand effort from you to recognize. It will feel familiar, even if it is new. It will feel calm, even if it changes things. That is how you will know it is from God. What comes from Him does not confuse the soul, it settles it. This hour is also healing something subtle. Not a visible wound, but a quiet disappointment you carried longer than you realized. You learned to live with it, to function despite it, but heaven has not forgotten it. Restoration does not always announce itself, sometimes it simply replaces heaviness with ease. God says, trust the gentleness of this moment. Loud promises fade quickly, but quiet alignment lasts. What is being prepared does not need your worry to fuel it. It only needs your openness. Let yourself be receptive without expectation, hopeful without pressure, attentive without anxiety. You may soon notice small confirmations appearing naturally. Not dramatic signs, not overwhelming events, but simple affirmations that tell you you are on the right path. These are not tests. They are reassurances. Heaven speaks softly when the heart is ready to listen. God says, you are not being asked to change who you are to receive what is coming. You are being rewarded for becoming who you already are. Nothing about this moment requires you to be different, better, louder, or stronger. It only asks you to remain true. This is not the peak yet. This is the stabilization before the next rise. Like roots settling deeper before growth becomes visible. What follows stability is expansion, and what follows expansion is fulfillment. Everything is unfolding in order. Remain here in awareness. Remain gentle with yourself. Remain open to what feels peaceful rather than urgent. This hour is doing more than you realize. God says, this is the hour where preparation becomes experience. Not everything will appear suddenly, but everything will begin to feel different. The shift you have sensed quietly will start touching the outer edges of your life. You will notice it in how situations respond to you, how people speak to you, and how opportunities feel less forced and more natural. This is not coincidence. This is alignment becoming visible. God says, there is a calm confidence forming inside you that cannot be taught and cannot be borrowed. It comes only from having walked through uncertainty and choosing trust anyway. That confidence is not loud. It does not demand attention. But it changes how the world meets you. Doors open differently for those who carry peace instead of pressure. You may find that certain answers arrive without explanation. Not because you searched harder, but because the right moment arrived. Heaven does not rush revelation, it releases it when it can be carried without harm. What you are receiving now is meant to stay with you, not overwhelm you. God says, notice how your thoughts are settling. The mind that once ran in circles is learning stillness. The heart that once questioned its worth is learning acceptance. This inner order is important, because what is coming requires clarity, not confusion. You are being positioned to recognize blessings without doubting them. There is a sense of completion moving through this hour. Not the end of your journey, but the closing of an internal chapter. A season of learning through endurance is gently concluding. What follows is learning through experience. You will not need to prove yourself as much. Life will begin to meet you halfway. God says, you may soon feel drawn to simplify things. Fewer explanations. Fewer emotional negotiations. Fewer doubts. This is not withdrawal, this is refinement. You are learning what truly matters and what no longer deserves space in your energy. This clarity will protect you moving forward. What approaches you now will not feel rushed. It will feel right-timed. You will not need to chase it, convince it, or hold it tightly out of fear. It will come with its own sense of belonging, like something that finally fits where it always should have been. God says, remember this truth deeply, nothing meant for you can miss you when you are aligned. You were never meant to run after destiny. Destiny recognizes you when you are ready. This hour marks readiness, not arrival. Arrival follows naturally. There is also a quiet healing completing itself now. Something you accepted as just the way things are is being gently rewritten. Not erased, not denied, but transformed. The memory remains, but the weight lifts. This is grace working softly. God says, you are being trusted with more, not more responsibility, but more freedom. Freedom to choose without fear. Freedom to receive without guilt. Freedom to rest without feeling behind. These freedoms change how life unfolds. As this hour completes itself, you may not hear thunder or see signs, but you will feel grounded. You will feel present. You will feel less divided inside. That unity is the real miracle. From unity comes momentum, and from momentum comes manifestation. God says, stay attentive, not anxious. Stay hopeful, not demanding. Stay open, not impatient. What has begun does not need control to grow. It needs space and trust. And now, as this message reaches its completion, take a moment and allow it to settle. Let it land where it needs to. If this message resonated with you, if you felt a quiet yes inside your heart, then do not keep it to yourself. Like this video so this message reaches more hearts. Comment your gratitude or reflection so this moment becomes anchored. Share this with someone who needs peace more than answers. And subscribe, so you remain connected to messages that guide, not rush, your spirit. What is unfolding is not random. And you are not here by accident.